Prepared. I'm unprepared.
Welcome to the Horse Talk Show
You never heard of a talking horse?
with your host, Louisa Barton.
I want to be a famous rider.
Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital.
Truth is, I help horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit with the bit, Louisa Barton! Yeah, baby.
Welcome to the Horse Talk Show, and thank you to Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Also Larson's Hay, the best alfalfa in Idaho's finest. I'm Paulette Stout, your host for tonight. Louisa Barton is in the hospital. She had an accident earlier today. A driver going 70 miles an hour, running from the police, hit her passenger side. She's in the emergency care, and we did talk to her. She's got some broken vertebrae in her neck, and she had a chunk of her knee that she said she was holding on to put back onto her knee, and they sutured it. So I don't know what other injuries she has, but she's going to be seeing the neurologist, and she is medicated. So we need prayers, and we will be finding out more about her hopefully tonight, and hopefully we can give more of an update. It's pretty sad that this has happened, and I certainly don't want to be here without her, but here I am. Co-hosting with me is Holly, and she's an eventer, and I want her to introduce herself so that you can see who she is.
Hello.
And we're winging it.
I'm Holly Jack Smither, and I'm a Canadian event rider, and I am down in Florida training for the winter, and I'm excited to be here. I'm sad that under the circumstances, Louisa's not here, but I do know Paulette, and she's fabulous, so I'm excited to be here, and we'll wing it.
Yeah, we're winging it.
We're winging it. We have no notes, we have no plans, we got this.
Holly, you are an event rider. Why not barrel racing? Why not cutting? Why not?
I think I actually grew up riding Western. I did a lot of Western riding. I did a lot of English riding, and I think for me it's the adrenaline of cross country. I absolutely love going cross country. I also like the aspect of training the 3 phases. I'm definitely super ADHD, and I feel like it gives me 3 different things to work on.
So is this eventing in Canada?
Is which eventing?
Eventing. Is eventing?
Yeah, there's eventing in Canada. I grew up on the West Coast. There's not nearly as much eventing on the West Coast as there is on the East Coast. So when I was 17, I moved out to the East Coast, and I got more into eventing there. And so I'm based in Ontario in the summer months, and I'm based in Florida in the winter months.
So what's their main thing in Canada that they do where you lived?
Where I lived, I grew up on the West Coast of British Columbia. That was mostly Western riding. There's some 100 jumpers and stuff. Like we do have Thunderbird in British Columbia, which is a huge A-circuit venue there. But it is primarily Western and rodeo.
So Western, like cutting, reining,
Barrel racing, team penning, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
team sorting.
Team sorting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the English, some hunter, but not much eventing.
Yeah, I mean, they do event up to the preliminary level. And it's actually a really cool when you think about some of the best Canadian event riders we've had. Holly Bennett, Shandace McDonald, Rebecca Howard, Dana Cook, Lisa Marie Ferguson.
All from Canada?
All from British Columbia.
Oh, wow.
Who have been team riders and moved to the East Coast to do what we do.
Really?
Really cool, yeah.
Now they go back and forth to Florida, or?
Dana is here, Lisa is here, Rebecca's based in Europe now. Shandace is braving the cold winter at home.
Wow. So you just got your farm in Williston, how long ago?
3 years ago.
And you stay 6 months here, 6 months there?
Yeah,
or?
6 months here, and I mean, this is home. I don't own a farm in Canada. We lease a farm, we rent a farm in Canada. So this is home.
Now, do you bring your horses back and forth?
Absolutely.
How many?
This year we have over 20 at the farm.
So you took 20 up and 20 down. Oh my God. Jeez. Moving a city.
Yes. Yeah.
So equipment, horses.
Everything. So this year was more complicated because of COVID.
Yeah.
So usually we take multiple trucks and trailers and we drive across. This
So
year,
it's not that hard to get in and out.
No, but this year it is. This year, land borders are closed except for essential travel.
Have you had COVID yet?
No.
Has
I haven't.
anybody that you know?
Yes, I do know people. Our barn has stayed COVID-free so far.
Really?
So far, we have been COVID-free. But we don't have time to leave. I mean, we have 20 horses. I ride horses all day long, and then I make everyone dinner, and we have dinner at home, and we ride horses all day. And
Wow.
the events are all masked.
Yeah. And you're not really near anybody when you're at an event.
I just gave you a big hug. Am I going to get COVID?
No, I already had it, so I think I'm
I forgot
good.
about that. Yeah,
And
you
I
said
don't
that.
leave the farm much either,
Right?
except to come here or something like
So
that.
no, we have been COVID-free so far. But with COVID traveling down, it was a different year for sure. So I'm essential. I'm a professional athlete, so I was able to drive down. But some of my students had to fly into the U.S. because that was open, and then I could pick them up and we would drive down.
So how were the events? Was there as many? Was there the same?
In Canada, there was less. Our season got started later. The organizers did a fabulous job of following all the safety protocols and got us opened up again. So we did have a season in Canada. I did travel down to Great Meadows and Plantation Fields and Tryon, and then I would have to come home and do my quarantine. But we had a season. Not a big season, but we had a season.
Now season here is starting.
Season here is full-blown, like,
Flying.
flying.
I judge a little show tomorrow for eventing.
Where?
Majestic Oaks.
Oh, maybe you'll be judging me and let some money under the table. I have
no.
3 young horses going to that tomorrow.
It's a nice schooling show. These pictures, tell me about these pictures.
There you go, my Western clothes. You asked
There you
about
go.
Western. That's at Kentucky. And that was just like dressing a little West Coast, actually. Actually, that dress is made by Linda Valentine Brown, who's local
wow.
here. And she sponsored me with the dress. And then that's at Kentucky as well. That's my 5-star partner, More Inspiration.
Looks great. For those that don't get to see and that are listening on the radio, what are your horses, the breeds? What are they?
So, I mean, I have all different kinds, but I primarily, I'm probably known more for riding a lot of thoroughbreds.
The thoroughbreds.
I spent a lot of time galloping thoroughbreds. I love my 5-star horse. I spent time galloping him.
So did you do race horses?
Yes,
So lots of race horses. So you're comfortable in a racehorse.
absolutely.
So that's
Yeah.
that's what you like the best. Now,
Yeah.
have you done other breeds?
Absolutely, yeah. I've done other breeds. My other horse that I've qualified for Tokyo is a Trakehner. But it's a hot-blooded horse, right?
So
Like-
you are qualified to go to Tokyo.
Yes, on 2.
You are.
Yeah.
To the Olympics.
Yeah.
And explain that whole procedure.
So there's qualifying events usually the year before. Now they have qualifying events the last 2 years because the Olympics was canceled last year.
Oh, wow.
So I had, for 2020 Olympics, I had More Inspiration qualified through a result that I had in Pau, France.
And that's a thoroughbred.
Yeah, that's a thoroughbred. That's like my main guy. And I had him qualified. But I have a really cool up-and-coming young Trakehner horse named Candy King, who, because the Olympics was postponed for a year, I
gave him the
actually
year.
got him qualified in November.
So now, what will you do with 2? Will
So
one be a spare?
Just because you're qualified doesn't mean you're going. So Canada has 2 lists. They have a national list and a development list. And I believe, if I'm correct, there's 7 of us on the national, and then probably another, I don't want to be wrong, but probably another 8 or so on the developmental. So I have More Inspiration on the national list based on his 5-star result. And then Candy King is on the developmental list.
So that's the up and coming.
Yes.
That if the first 7 don't go, then they look
Yeah,
at
and I
the
mean, I
bottom.
think that depending on how the season runs, they'll take some developmental horses. I mean, Canada does not have a team qualified for the Olympics. We didn't have the result that we needed at the Pan Ams or the World Equestrian Games to have a team qualified. So they're taking 2 individuals.
So you don't. So I don't understand. You don't have a team in Canada.
We don't have a team qualified for the Olympics.
And what's the difference? What is a team?
So you have to qualify a team through your Pan American Games results or your World Equestrian Games results in order to go to the Olympics. And the teams that were at the World Equestrian Games and the Pan American Games didn't get the scores needed to qualify for the Olympics as a team.
Team
So
as in 4 people, 5 people.
you got it. Yeah.
So those 4 and 5 people have got to qualify as a team at a particular event.
They qualified Canada as a team, and you could send different people, but they get the country qualified.
I see. Well, we're going to hold that thought, and we're going to be coming back in a few minutes. Stay with us.
I just remembered something that says.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
No. Do you have his phone number?
No, I don't. Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Thank you to Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm Paulette Stout, your host for today, because Louisa Barton is in the hospital. Boy, I can't wait till she gets back. We love her. She did have a bad accident, and we're waiting to hear some more results from her tests, and we need prayers. I'm supposed to be on the phone with Adam Kayot, and hopefully he will answer the phone. We're calling. I'm holding. We are not prepared tonight.
That's my fault.
Hello?
Hi, Adam Kayot. We are live right now.
Hey,
Hey, so what are we talking about for today?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I was thinking about foaling season and just coming up with something that foaling season is always a tough time of year. Things go wrong, foals get sick, mares don't do the right thing. What do you think is one of the most, what would you say, the most worrisome thing that you could prevent if you did the right thing?
Probably failure of passive transfer, meaning them getting, not getting enough colostrum or the colostrum being poor. Mm-hmm. And then you have sickness develop after that. One of the easiest ways to help prevent that is to booster your mares with their vaccines.
30 days before?
Yeah, I do it right. I do it about 30 days before they foal. Mm-hmm. And that just gives their immune system a little antibody boost, and the thought is that then transfers into the colostrum. Mm-hmm. And that is a real easy, relatively inexpensive way to, help prevent a lot of problems down the road. The other thing that once the baby is born, it's always a good idea within 12 to 24 hours after the baby's born to, have a veterinarian examine the baby, we generally pull blood and look at a CBC, and we can obviously do an IgG count, and that will give us a level of immunoglobulin that the baby did receive, or the foal received in its, in its first hours of nursing. So those are some really good, easy, relatively, like I said, inexpensive things to
it's interesting.
A lot of problems.
I've done a lot of that with the 30-day vaccinations, and of course preparing the stall and being as clean as possible, and making sure the baby drinks within 6 hours, or making sure the colostrum is good and all that. And I had one foal last year that ended up with a septic joint.
Yeah.
2 weeks or 3 weeks after, like almost a month after.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why is that?
I wish I knew.
Yeah.
Certainly, we don't know exactly why that happens. The thought is that when the foal's born, obviously, in order to absorb those immunoglobulins from the colostrum that protect the ability for them to get bacteria in their blood system is easier as well, because those channels are actually larger. That interface with the digestive tract and the circulatory system. So the thought there is that they're more easily able to absorb not only the immunoglobulins, but they can also get some bad stuff. And though generally the body takes care of bacteria that enters the bloodstream, joints are a great place for bacteria to hang out. Number one, because they're protected there. The bacteria doesn't have, it's isolated from the bloodstream. And so it can just get there. And that's, obviously the bloodstream carries all the antibiotics and stuff like that would attack a bacteria. So if the bacteria can seed itself in a joint, it's a great place for it to hang out and survive, and obviously it can cause all kinds of problems. But
so they have a predisposition to go to a joint for some reason.
That's right. They go to a joint because if the bacteria happens to land in the joint, then they don't get nothing's there to really attack it. So even though they probably have bacteria in other parts of its body, the white cells and stuff are there to get it, to fight it. But when it lands by chance in a joint, then the bacteria is like happy and made it to where it has basically free reign and can cause all kinds of havoc.
Well, it was pretty amazing. The foal became slightly lame, and I couldn't figure it out, and just slightly. And I watched it for a while, and I finally called Dr. Broadbent, and I said, "Hey, what's going on with this foal?" And he came and he looked, and he said, "You need to take it to Peterson and Smith." so I did, and they cared for it down there, and they did a lot of joint infusions and flushings.
Right.
And
Flushes,
you could see on the X-ray just a little bit of a shadow where it was attacking the joint a little bit. And he came out of it really well, and he's doing really great. So no problems, knock on wood. He's been doing
that's the good thing about it. Most of the time they can. They come out of it okay if it's not too progressed. It sounds like you jumped on it relatively quickly when you start seeing those signs, and that obviously helps, and that helps with your prognosis.
Yeah.
But
that's a warning sign for other people. If you see your foal, that's just even 2 or 3 weeks, or 4 weeks, and you see a slight lameness, don't mess around with it like, oh, I wonder what it did. Did it twist its leg or whatever? You get it checked out, because if I would have let it go another 24 hours thinking that he just did something, he would have been a goner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, they can progress rapidly, and best sign is joint effusion, or you see that joint more swollen than the other ones. And
of course, it's a
certainly
gypsy,
lameness
so it had,
of varying degrees. Some of them can be very lame, and some of them can just be mild lameness, like yours sounds like it was.
Yeah, it was mild. And so, but he's doing great, and it was a lot of work, and it was a lot of, he was an embryo transfer from Peterson and Smith too,
Geez,
so
it
it was
a lot into that baby when it got on the ground.
And so it wasn't messing around, but I'd like for people to know that, you know, you want to be very careful and watch those younger foals that can happen, and you don't want to just let it alone.
Yep.
So
and they'll act normal. A lot of them will act normal.
Yeah,
meaning they'll
they're
be
very
bright,
stoic,
alert, and even be running around. But you'll see that lameness, and that's you know, that's a real red flag that you need to have investigated for sure.
Yep. And that's even with, you know, dipping the navel right when it's born, dipping it a couple more times. It's really I guess the channels in the stomach. Is that correct? That they ingest anything, it goes to the channels.
I mean, you know, let's look at horses. They live outside. They roll in the dirt. They, you know, roll in their poop. They're, you know, they have hair all over their body. They, you know, put their mouth on everything that they can put their mouth on. And, sometimes that stuff like that's going to happen. So, you know, you can't put them in a bubble, you know?
Yeah, especially when they're learning to nurse. God,
absolutely.
I mean, it's on everything until they finally get it. So what else do you think? Is there one other thing dealing with that you would think of as very important?
Well, I think it'd be good to talk about in as far as foals go. I mean, if we talk about the prevention kind of thing, the other thing that's common in Florida is rhodococcus, which is a bacteria that is basically hangs out in the soil, and foals breathe that bacteria in, and they can get really sick. That bacteria can, the ones that are affected, cause abscesses in the lungs. So you'll see, and it usually happens, they're generally about a month or a little bit older when you start seeing a cough. You'll see a fever, and then you know, obviously that would warrant some investigation, and you know, call your veterinarian out, pull blood.
Right.
They may ultrasound the lungs and look for those abscesses, that sort of thing. But my point to this is as a preventive measure, if you've had a rhodococcus foal on your farm, then you know you have rhodococcus on your property.
Right.
And in those regards, I highly recommend that those the foals that are born after that one, after that knowledge is gained, get run rhodococcus plasma. So it's a plasma that is basically hyper immunized against rhodococcus. And so generally what I do is, if I've had that on the farm and I know it, then if the owner will agree, then I actually will run rhodococcus plasma to every foal after that.
Well, that's a great thing, because I know that wasn't available even when I was raising quarter horses. We've gotten to the end of this segment. That is great information, and just remember, Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Please give them a call for all your needs. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Paulette.
Thank you so much, Adam. All right.
Have a good night.
That was awesome. We'll be back.
This show is presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital, one of the top equine hospitals in the USA, with services including ambulatory, surgery, sports medicine, reproduction, and with doctors on call 24 hours a day. Check them out now at petersonsmith.com. The opinions of the hosts and guests on the Horse Talk Show are not necessarily that of Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital. This show is brought to you in part by Summit Joint Performance, promoting a healthy, thick synovial fluid, decreasing inflammation in the joints and improving the cushioning properties of the cartilage pads. All age horses can benefit from Summit Joint Performance. Our Facebook broadcast sponsor is Lawson Farms. The Lawson Farms mission is simple: to be the leader in quality and value. Richard, owner of Larson Farms, is committed to a positive attitude, integrity, dedication, quality, and teamwork. Larson Farms is committed to being your supplier of Idaho's finest alfalfa, a complete line of mixed and grass hay. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. This show is brought to you in part by Horseboxes USA, the newest and most advanced way to safely transport your horses in style. Horseboxes USA comes standard with a backup camera, horse cabin camera, and dual fans. Visit them at JJ Tack Shop on Highway 40 in Ocala or online at horseboxesusa.com.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Thank you, Peterson and Smith, Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We have a little announcement. Oh, and thank you, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa. I'm not as good as Louisa, but I try. We love you, Louisa. Announcement, Equine Industry Expo, March 3rd. It's 1 o'clock to 7 p.m. Ocala Downtown Market. It's held with the CEP, Ocala Metro Chamber and Economic Partnership Equine Initiative. Social distance and masks recommended. We have horse breed exhibit, horse training demos, Equine Industry Inventors Expo, stagecoach rides, meet a horse and take a photo, used tax sales, vendors, food trucks, watch a master farrier work, equine dentistry demos by professionals, plus veterinarians, trainers, and riders teaching throughout the day, breed parade. So again, March 3rd, 1 to 7 p.m., Ocala Downtown Market. See you there. We're back with Holly. So we were talking about the Olympics in Tokyo, which she has 2 horses qualified, but it's kind of I'm not sure exactly how they don't do a team in Canada, but she sort of explained it to me. If the people that went to a specific event, that whole team did not qualify, Canada doesn't have a team.
Yeah, so it's for the Pan American Games. Mm-hmm. You have to get a gold or silver, I believe, so don't quote me on this, to get your qualifying score as a country. So that is why Brazil and the USA got a team in.
Okay, so
but
Canada
was bronze, so they didn't get a team in.
So they're individuals, so they can send 2 individuals.
Correct.
So you're on the list, the first 7.
I'm on the national list with More Inspiration and the developing list with Candy King.
So More Inspiration is a thoroughbred.
He is.
And Candy Cane is a Tricaner.
Tricaner thoroughbred, yeah.
Really? Cross. Yeah. So you could be selected to go to Tokyo.
I could.
But you don't know, they don't tell you.
We won't know until we get closer. So we're qualified, I'm down here, I'm running horses. I have plan A, B, and C in my life right now, and then they could all get messed up with COVID, but right now I'm luckier than most. I'm down here riding and competing, and that's a lot better than a lot of people in the world right now. So one day at a time, and I'm lucky. So of those 7 people, are you in a category like we
first,
are not
second, third?
ranked right now as far as I know. During selection, when they select, I believe they'll be ranking us.
And when's selection?
I don't know when they finally name the team. I think it is mid-June.
Really? So now you're competing every weekend?
Yes, but not on just on those 2 horses.
On many horses?
On many horses.
So now these many horses, will you get qualifying scores or however they do it for?
I don't have anything else at that level right now, so I guess my next horse in line to be competing at any team level would be a thoroughbred mare named Big Pretty, and she's going intermediate now, but I mean she's a ways off from the Olympics, but I guess I'd be aiming her towards the next Pan American Games, which is a 3-star, and then I have a bunch of young stock.
Oh wow. Now your main man, how old is he?
He's 16 this year.
16 years old, going strong.
Going strong.
When did he start with the 5-star?
Oh geez, I did my first 5-star with him in 2017, I believe.
So explain 5-star to people that don't.
Yeah, I think that's 5-star is the highest level of our sport. So it's actually a higher level than the Olympics for us.
Really?
Yeah. and it's
level than
yeah.
that.
We have currently one star in North America, or 1 5-star in North America. That almost didn't happen this year, so a huge shout out to Sarah Cosmplate-Murphy and Dorothy Crowell and all the people that got behind it, because it is now happening in Kentucky. It's our Land Rover Kentucky event.
Oh, they changed
it used to
it
be
from
Rolex.
Yeah, Rolex, and now Land Rover.
And then last year we were supposed to have the Maryland event in the fall at the old Fair Hill site, and it got canceled due to COVID, but this year hopefully we'll have another 5-star in North America. But those are our only 5-star events in North America right now.
So the Olympics really isn't even a 5-star.
No, it's not.
It's not as high a level.
Correct.
So is the jump smaller?
The jumps are smaller, the cross country is shorter, and the biggest reason for that is so they can include more countries, because not as many countries can produce 5-star horses and riders, and because it's the Olympic Games, they want to have more smaller countries
know that.
come. Yep.
So now, what would a 4-star height of a jump and how?
Getting
what's
into
the
rules, Paulette.
General.
4-star is smaller than a 5-star. A 5-star is mostly longer, with a tougher show jumping course and a tougher dressage course, and kind of more relentless questions. A 4-star long would be slightly smaller, slightly shorter, with an easier show jump round and an easier dressage test. Then we also have a 4-star short, which is a shortened version of that 4-star, so you don't cover as much ground.
So in the dressage portion, what level would that be?
Basically, 5-star is equivalent to about 3rd level.
3rd level?
Yeah, like we have changes. We don't have tempies, but we have changes. We have half pass at the canter. At
Do you
the
have pirouette?
Not at the canter. We have like turn on the haunches at the walk, like walk pirouettes.
Okay, walk pirouettes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then say the show jumping part would be height-wise?
130 for 5-star.
What's the width?
Geez, you need to ask an official.
Well, you just jump them. You don't care. I can remember you saying this is good. You looked at one of the jumps at Rolex and you were saying, what did you say? This is going to happen tomorrow because they were so big on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, what is
it?
It
doesn't feel as big when you're on. Like, and even when I set stuff at home, like, it feels better when you're on.
So describe that when you're walking the course.
So the first year I went to Kentucky, I was walking the course with my coach, Buck Davidson, and I was probably one of the few riders, I would guess, who had never been to Kentucky to watch before I went to ride. Because I just don't sit well. Like, I don't sit down and watch well. So I, in my head...
I think that would give too much anxiety.
Well, I don't know. I'd been to, like, Aachen and run the 4-star short at Aachen in Germany, which was big. It was a Nations Cup there. And because that was big and I'd gone, I thought, whoa, if I do a 5-star, it is going to be, I'd made it up so big and horrendous in my head that when I walked it, I actually was like, okay, I'll be able to do this. Like, I had done everything on it at some point, but just not together. And I think that's a big thing about a 5-star is it is relentless. Like, in a 4-star, you'll have a tough question and then like a, a relaxing gallop fence.
A tough question meaning you got to figure this out. It's
technical question, yeah.
A technical fence that you need to approach right.
Yeah.
You need to be at the right rhythm, the right speed, the right impulsion.
You got it. And the 4-star, everything's a little bit smaller, including like your easier fences. Whereas the 5-star, I don't think you ever walk around a 5-star and are like, oh, well, this one I can fall asleep at.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the 5-star is real. Like, and I remember walking with Buck and he said, if things get bad out there, like, you just got to fight harder because it's going to be harder than what you've done before and it's longer than what you've done. And if they get a little bit tired, you got to give them a smack and give them a pat and tell them they're good, but stay on them because you can't fall asleep out there in that 11 minutes.
You can't let them let down.
Totally. You got to keep them on the bridle.
Because it's dangerous.
Totally.
Yeah. So everybody's got to stay together.
Yeah.
And when you start to give up, you got to come together.
You got to come together. Whereas, you're riding a 7-minute 4-star short, it's a lot different than riding an 11-minute 5-star long.
So when you're galloping, how fast is that?
So it depends. Like, you have to get up, like, your time is like 575 meters a minute, but you have to get up sometimes to like 800 between fences to make time, because some jumps you have to slow down to like 400, so you have to take a second to make a line or make a turn. So on some of the gallop stretches, you're ripping.
Wow, so you're going full
moving,
out. You're going full out.
You're moving.
See, and this is what I think some people that they might watch and they think, oh, this looks hard, but it's even a lot more technical than they really understand.
Especially the last 10 years.
Because it's speed, it's just endurance, and it's, you know, and how to approach a fence and not take a long distance or a short distance and get hung, and landing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're leaning back.
Some of them, yeah.
Okay, we're going to be back in a few more minutes, and we're done. We'll be back.
So 3 more?
3 more minutes.
3 more segments?
3 more segments. We got 3 more segments, so we'll be back.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now, or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
At All In Removal, we offer the best service and highest quality products. Whether you need fine shavings, large flake, a custom blend, or even bag shavings, we have the bedding and removal services you need. We use only reliable late model trucks, and our team of drivers are courteous, respectful, and hardworking. We train our staff to the high standards we are famous for, and our customer service team prides themselves on being experts on our products and an advocate for our customers, helping them to maximize the value they receive. If quality and service matter, give us a try today.
Are you ready to get loco? At Loco Graphics, every dollar matters to provide your ideas brought to life. Loco Graphics strives to get your message across and impact your customers, offering logo design, vehicle wraps, business cards, banners, and more. Make your business shine and showcase who you are with nothing but the highest quality materials. The difference is in the details. Impact your potential customers with Loco Graphics. Like them on Facebook now and find them on the web at locographics.com. Inspired by a catastrophic driving accident, Dan Taylor created and patented the EquiSafe Safety Rain and Driving Collection. So don't get caught in the rain. Get EquiSafe Rains with a safety breakaway for driving, jumping, pony riding and more. Find them on the web at equisafe.com and like and follow on social media. Don't ever stand in lines with EquiSafe.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show.
You never heard of a talking horse? Well, listen to this.
With your host, Louisa Barton.
What does it feel like to be in love with a horse?
Presented this hour by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy store. Now, here's your pretty Louisa Barton.
You're fab, you're switched on, you're a bit of all right. Yes.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Thank you, Palm Chevrolet, your Chevy experience, hometown. Thank you, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa. Pulse Center of Ocala. Go down to Ocala and get pulsed for your pain needs. We are having so much fun. Boy, am I winging it. Louisa, please come back.
Louisa, are you watching this?
Anyway, back to about the eventing with Holly. She is a 5-star rider, and she is qualified with 2 horses to go to Tokyo from Canada. And we were talking about the speed it takes to go across the event, which is, you said 400 and 500. That's meters per minute.
Yes, so meters per minute is how we measure our speed. So every level will have, and don't ask me which levels are which because I'm bad about this, but each level will have how many meters per minute you need to ride at. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you're riding at that meter per minute the whole course. Yes, you want to make it as smooth as you can and ride, you know.
So you get time penalties then. When they figure out
Absolutely.
A certain course has to be ridden 400 meters per minute, you've got to go from point A to point B throughout the whole.
For sure. And every higher level, it becomes a higher amount of meters per minute you need to ride. Mm-hmm. And at the lower levels, they actually can, you get penalties for being too fast because they're trying to stop dangerous riding, which is great, you know. So at the lower levels, say if your optimum time is 5 minutes for novice level eventing, and you went at 3 minutes, you would get time penalties for going too fast. So on your map when you walk your course. You'll get your optimum time, and then you'll get your speed fault time at the lower levels. And
but how do you figure out how you're doing it?
There's an app for that. When we walk, back in the good old days, we all had wheels.
Oh, so you wheeled it.
You wheel the courses at the top FEI levels, and you teach your students to wheel courses as well, and you have minute markers. So you can figure out where you should be at every minute. Now,
so you're watching.
We have a watch, a big cross-country watch that we set it, as we leave the start box, we press start.
And it's telling you. So not only are you paying attention to your fences, the technical part of it, riding, you're watching your watch to know how fast you're going.
Well, our watches also beep at us every minute, so like ideally we're not watching our watch.
So it beeps every minute?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. That's something I didn't know. So it's beeping every minute, so you know where you are on those minute markers on the course.
Yep.
And the minute markers are not marked.
Nope.
You visually had to make sure.
Yep. So when you walk with your wheel or you walk with your app for that, you can you'll know where your minute markers are. Like some minutes will be faster or slower. Like if you have a big galloping stretch at a 5-star with 2 cross-country fences in it, that minute hopefully doesn't take you a full minute because you're mostly galloping. And then you might have another minute that has, 3 technical combinations in it that you're never going to get through that in a minute. So you just learn as you go, right? And I mean, you learn from experience.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot to this, and then to get to 5-star and get to the Olympics, it's a lot. Now, training-wise, how do you train your horses? How do you train you? Because you're an athlete, your horse is an athlete. How do you do that?
So I used to do a lot of cross-training, and I actually boxed a lot. I thought that was great for me, cross-training-wise. But right now, we have a lot of horses in training. And
so you get a lot of
exercise.
I'm
not cross-training, I'm just riding. But I mean, I'm sitting on between right now. The girls just keep bringing them out to the field right now.
Right.
And so I'm sitting usually between 8 and 15 a day, depending on.
Now, are you just galloping, some jumping, some?
Yeah, so we do a lot of hacking. I do a lot of trotting. I give them all a bit of time off over December, and then I bring them back. And in Morriston, where we are, we have some great dirt roads. And I do a lot of walking and trotting and like long, slow miles at the beginning of the year just to get them stronger and fitter. I probably don't gallop my horses as much as a lot of other event riders, primarily because I sit on thoroughbreds and they have the foundation from galloping as youngsters.
Right.
And it's been a learning curve for me riding some warm bloods as I, have more horses in my barn because thoroughbreds are trained to go fast. They are trained to gallop from a young age. Most of them that come off the track.
So you ask them, it's there.
Yeah, and like the get up and go on a thoroughbred is so much different than the get up and go on a warm blood who's never gone as fast as they can before. Like when you breeze thoroughbreds, those thoroughbreds,
they already know.
They know.
They know.
So I changed my training a little bit on my young advanced horse this year. I did a lot of hill sprints with him, and kind of showed him fifth gear.
Wow. So you really, really like the thoroughbreds.
I love thoroughbreds.
It's amazing because the other event rider that was here did more Irish sport horses.
Yeah.
So I was trying to figure out what would somebody, I know it's preference, but if they're event horses and they're both going towards Olympics and your favorite is thoroughbreds, what is it?
So a little bit is like my background. And I mean, financially, I didn't grow up with people buying me event horses,
So you did the
I had to get my 5-star horse. I got off the track for $2,000.
So the one that you have now was a $2,000 off the track horse.
Yeah.
And
you're not going to go and get a $2,000 Irish sport horse.
No.
Right. So I think for me it was necessity of how I started it, and then to make extra money, I galloped thoroughbreds, and I loved galloping thoroughbreds. And I think that if I had been smaller, I would have loved to have been a jockey.
Wow.
So I mean, for me, it was what I got used to, and I think whatever you get used to obviously becomes your favorite. It has been really fun having my little Candy King horse who is purposely sport bred. Like an Irish sport horse are bred to events.
Right.
Thoroughbreds are not.
Right.
And Candy King's mom is an Irish sport horse, and his dad is Tricaner. And I mean, it's definitely, they're bred to do it.
They're bred to do it, so it was easier for the jumping.
He's been way easier to bring along than my thoroughbreds in a lot of ways. But I love a challenge, and I love, the one thing about the thoroughbreds is you don't run out of horse at those big events. Like you never run out, like they don't get
So they
tired.
keep going, they keep going when they're fit.
I think there's something about heart. Like I think my 5-star horse, he ran out of his conditions winning races. If you looked at him in the paddock, you would not think he's the 5-star horse in the barn. He conformationally doesn't look like it.
Wow.
He just has a huge heart.
And so he'll keep going, he'll give it, and he has the talent to do the jumps, and he's the talent to do the dressage, and he has the talent.
The talent to the dressage is tough. I mean, he's not an easy horse on the flat.
But what is it? You can do a third level test decent on him.
Yeah, I can do a third level test on him.
Now, is his scoring in the gate scores and stuff like that?
He's not going to beat my other young horse now, and he's not going to beat some of the more purposeful bred event horses
in dressage.
In dressage, but he's a very crafty show jumper, and he is fast cross country.
So you can really make it up in those other two parts of the eventing. Yeah. Not afraid of it.
No.
Oh my God! So because you bought him off the track for $2,000, he obviously didn't. He wasn't attractive, so he didn't. Why did you buy him?
I knew him. I galloped him at the track. I was buying and selling a lot of horses. I mean, I've had him now for 12 years. So I was at the very start of my horse. I'd stopped being a working student at the time. I was a working student. I was galloping thoroughbreds because I loved horses and I wanted to make a living. And, you know, as much as people look at famous event riders making a living doing it, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
So I was galloping thoroughbreds. And I was flipping a lot of thoroughbreds off the track. And I fell in love with them. And
when he came up available, you bought him.
Yep, but he wasn't. I bought him for resale. I didn't buy him to keep.
Wow, and then he turned out to be 5-star.
I couldn't get him sold.
You couldn't sell him. Yeah. Unbelievable. So you ended up with him, and I have a story like that too. Yeah. Rio Toro was I couldn't sell him for $1,500, and he won the Congress 6 times in the World Show in 2005. Wow. Yeah, and he was an orphan, and he was the ugliest.
Did you win Congress on it?
Yeah, 6 times.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And the World Show in 2005.
That's amazing.
In jumping. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, we're running out of time. We're at the 1 minute, so we have another 2 segments with Holly, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. Manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at seminolefeed.com.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you.
The Equine Performance Centre Ocala, with numerous success stories and featuring the most advanced equine conditioning and rehab equipment available in the world today, is striving to be the best in the nation. Find them on the web at epcrehab.com and like them on Facebook now.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Bling it up a little bit. Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. We were talking about Luisa's neck brace. Thank you to Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa. We're back with Holly, and we were talking about her horse, and we have kind of like similar experiences with horses. One that I could not sell, could not give him away, and he turned out to be one of the best horses I ever owned in my life. And yours, you said, is Swayback.
He's Swayback. He's Swayback.
So you have to have a special saddle on him.
So 2016 for the Olympics, his back got really sore during training camps and stuff, and to the point where I thought, like, this is going to be it. And we tried everything to make his back feel better. And I started riding in a Bua saddle, it's called.
Bua.
B-U-A. And it's an Irish saddle, and they are funny looking. Like they have panels that move individually with the horse's back. And they're separated panels. So it's very different looking. Almost looks like a bit of an endurance saddle. And I mean, I figured out a few things that really made the horse tick that would keep him competing and keep him happy. But that was one of the big changes I made.
Was your saddle
my
on this
saddle
horse?
on him.
Because there's
I
nothing
mean, you
that
can't
could
fit him, because if you put a saddle on him and
It
he's
bridges.
sway backed, it bridges, and it literally,
Does
and like
it?
you could put tons of pads on it, but that's not good either.
No, because your saddle won't stay.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So he actually is sway back.
He's sway backed, like conformationally sway backed. Like he looks like he is 25.
You bought him after his career where he won a bunch of races.
He won. Yeah, he won three races.
Won 3 races.
Yeah.
He was finished. Nobody wanted him. You bought him for $2,000.
Well, his connections were really cool. He had a really good syndicate, and they could have let him run cheap after, and they wanted him to go do something else. So he wasn't like, everyone is like,
well,
I
running
rescued
cheap,
a
that's a claiming race.
Yeah, and so he ran out of his conditions. He won allowance, and then he won at Woodbine and Fort Erie, and then instead of letting him, end up somewhere bad, he came to me. His trainer and I are really good friends. I've got a lot of horses from her.
And you were going to sell him, and nobody wanted him.
I was going to sell him, but I had people come try him, and he was really naughty. Like, he still bucks hard, like really hard. And he'll stand up, and he'll squeal, and he's like quite a fresh horse. But, and he never would pass a vet either. I mean, he wouldn't pass a vet check, and he is a really difficult horse to ride. So no, he was not saleable.
So you got stuck with him, basically. Yes. And so then when you got stuck with him, you just started doing eventing.
Oh, I mean, I show jumped him. I was working at a show jump barn when I got him, so I show jumped him a fair bit. And my friend, who's actually a really good cutter in Okeechobee now, Frankie Chesler, she said to me I should show jump him, her and her dad. But I love eventing, so I took him eventing, and it took him. He wasn't an easy horse to bring along. I've learned a lot on him. He was a great first 5-star horse for me because I've learned a lot of tricks how to train horses with him.
Your first 5-star, and he's qualified to go to Tokyo.
Yeah.
And he's reliable.
He's amazing. He's so reliable.
He's so reliable on those big courses. Just gallop forward and go.
Yeah. I mean, I've had him in Germany. I've had him in France. I've had him at Kentucky. He's amazing.
So you've had to fly him to those places.
Yeah.
On the plane.
Yeah.
He does good.
Yeah.
So he's proven that way.
Yeah.
So he could go to Tokyo and do well.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's amazing. So now tell me about what you will do from now before June to give yourself more of a chance on being chosen those 2 out of the 7.
So actually, I don't actually know what we have to do at this point to give us more of a chance. Team Canada has not given us mandatory outings. So I'm not sure exactly what they're going to be looking at exactly for selection because they haven't given us mandatory outings. My plan A/B though is to actually take that horse to Badminton in England in May.
Really?
So I guess there's 3 things on the radar for that horse, and he would do one of them, not all 3. It would be Kentucky, Badminton, or Tokyo. So right now he just ran advanced at Rocking Horse this weekend, and he had a nice 5th. He just added a little bit of time penalties for his first run cross country, so he was 5th advanced this weekend at Rocking Horse. Then I haven't decided yet if I'm taking him to Bruce's Field or Red Hills. He's cross-centered at both. My other young horse is going to Bruce's Field. And then pending on COVID stuff and financial stuff, if I can take him to Badminton in England, I mean, that's a 5-star. It's one of the biggest events in the world, and it's one of those things you think of when you're a kid, like,
right.
I want to go to Badminton.
Right,
so
right.
That would probably be my plan A, but with COVID going on, Kentucky plan B, and then I'm just waiting for Team Canada and the selectors to kind of let me know if he's on their radar, and if he's on their radar, he probably wouldn't run a 5-star in the, that close to the Olympics, because he's 16, and he doesn't need to. He went to France and did really well in that. So I would just run him at what we would call our 4-star shorts and keep him fit and keep him happy and keep him sound and take him to Tokyo.
Wow, that is so exciting. So exciting.
Yeah.
You got a lot on your radar.
Yeah.
A lot to do.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm wishing you luck on that stuff. Now, keeping you sound and fit, what are you doing? Or should we say, because
I'm pretty good. Actually, I just got introduced to a great physio clinic in Ocala called Mountain River Physio, who's been working on some old injuries I've had. And I mean, I have come to see Paulette, who, if everybody doesn't know, is one of the best massage therapists I've ever met in my life. She's incredible. But knock on wood, my back and shoulders have been really good.
Which is good.
But now you're going to get 100,000 phone calls with all your spare time. But I think like you just got to stay fit. I think the biggest thing with eventers, we don't treat our injuries. So you have some things that come back and haunt you. And so that's why I've been working with this physio clinic on some old injuries I've had.
And what are they doing with them? Is it like a rehab?
Yeah, so I've been getting like a lot of dry needling on my ankles. My ankles are the tough thing with me. Dry needling on my ankles, and just keeps me taped up pretty good for the
What about the
weekend.
crooked head?
My crooked head is like, I used to get really bad migraines, and so it's funny Paulette and I are doing this together because she would work on my neck, but because when I'm not teaching as much right now though because I have so many to ride.
Yeah.
But I would teach like this, and so I'd be like, yeah, keep going, and then I'd come to Paulette and I couldn't move my neck.
Yeah, she was very crooked. It was like her neck was sitting over here.
So I'm knock on wood, I've been feeling pretty good right now.
But you had a lot of migraines and stuff.
I used to, yeah. I haven't for a while.
That's good. I mean, it looks like you lost weight. It looks like you're even fitter.
Yeah.
And you're fit. I mean, I know you're fit.
I just don't have time to eat right now, so I'm riding so many horses.
Oh my Lord! I think don't waste away, don't blow away or anything. Jeez, oh man.
But no, I mean, I think I'm riding a lot right now, and I think the one thing with, and I tell this to all my students and everybody, you should cross train, and I think especially for injury prevention, is cross training's a big thing. But you get fit to ride horses by riding horses.
Right.
And I think like you want to go preliminary and above, you should not be riding one horse 5 days or 6 days a week. You need to ride more horses. If you don't have show horses to ride, go get a job galloping thoroughbreds. Like.
And why do you think that is so important?
To get fit to ride horses, you need to help your horse out there. You know, you can't just be.
Yeah. So you think riding.
You get fit and good by riding.
Mm-hmm. But it's different when you're galloping.
It's different muscles for sure. And it's different, you can pick up some bad habits. Like I'm not saying it's, the be all and end all. There's pros and cons to galloping horses. But as far as fitness, I mean, you don't see any unfit exercise riders.
You got to really, really be galloping. Like you can't just ride.
Yeah.
When I jump horses, I go, gosh darn, wow, am I sore? Yeah. Then I'll do something else and I'll go, wow, these muscles are sore. Totally. I haven't used those. When I do farrier work, I go, holy crap, I didn't use those muscles.
Right?
It's like, do you ever get fit to it?
Right? No, for sure.
So you're always being sore.
Yeah.
So the real exercise, the real galloping is not only when you're galloping, you have a lot of cardiovascular conditioning too, because you are breathing and your heart is pumping. So, and you understand that.
Yep.
Are we at a 1 minute? Okay, we're at a 1 minute.
Perfect.
Do we have another segment?
Yes, it's pre-recorded.
Oh, we have a pre-recorded segment. Well, I really thank you, Holly. Awesome. You've been awesome today to talk to, and I've learned more again about eventing, and I sure wish you all the luck.
Thank you.
I know I'm going to be following you because you're 15 minutes down the road, and you should come in for your massage. And let me do ashiatsu and fix your neck and everything.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been feeling good though. That's why I haven't called you. Yeah. But now that we're talking about this, I'm worried.
You're going to
really
need to come so we can talk anyway. Okay. Well, I appreciate you, and we have a pre-recorded segment on
Justine and Chris.
Justine
Yay!
and Chris. There you go.
We love Justine and Chris. Cool.
Thank you for watching us tonight, and you'll see the next recording. Yeah. I'm so unprepared.
World-class equine rehab promoting faster recovery is available at the Equine Performance Centre Ocala. Hyperbaric oxygen therapy, an underwater treadmill, a saltwater spa, an aquapacer, MagnaWave, a vibration plate, swimming pool, massage and laser therapies. With post-surgical care, memberships, packages and BOGOs. EPC delivers a rejuvenated horse through proven and innovative rehab. Like Equine Performance Centre now on Facebook and find them on the web at epcrehab.com.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com. This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. Experience the difference in buying. Palm makes it simple with no pressure, the best sales staff, and lots of inventory. Experience the difference at Palm Chevy in Ocala or online at palmchevrolet.com. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
I'm Louisa Barton with the Horse Talk Show here at Air Show Jumping at the Florida Horse Park, sitting at the barn of Notting Hill Stables. Sounds rather British. That's because it is. I'm actually here with Justine Dutton and Chris Barnard. Chris, Show Jumping Company, Signature Show Jumps, Chris Barnard Equestrian, and the two of them, Notting Hill Stables, do an absolutely phenomenal job in the horse world. And so does Fergie, joining me here to guest co-host, because that's just what she's good at. We're actually in the horse barn with wonderful horses that are competing here at the show this weekend. Tino, who actually won yesterday, very, very excited to congratulate Justine on that. And going to have her actually do a little rundown of the horses that are here with us and tell us a little bit about their backgrounds, what they're accomplishing, ages and personalities. We always love to hear about that on the Horse Talk Show. So I'm going to let Justine take us down. Justine, thank you for being with us. And I'm going to lean this way and have you tell us a little bit about the horses here in the barn.
Thanks, Louisa. Well, first of all, we have Tino, if he would actually stick his head out, which he's now decided he's not going to. He's a 5 coming 6-year-old Dutch horse. We've had him since he was 4, just broken, and he did some young jumpers last year. He's jumped a couple 120 young jumper classes this week, and there wasn't many in the class, but he jumped clear and won both classes. So we're really pleased with him, and he has pretty big things in his future, I think. So yeah, he's definitely one of our favorites.
And he's a lovely guy, very friendly, very happy to see people.
Oh yeah, he loves people. Yeah, really loves people. Chris keeps threatening though to make me sell him.
Chris.
True statement. Very true. No, he's a super little horse. Not so little, but he's got a great personality and he's got a great brain for a 5-year-old. He just hacks around and goes in, does his thing, no nonsense. And but no, he's definitely a keeper for now.
I'm really glad we got that on film.
That is recorded by the Horse Talk Show. We have evidence that he said that. But you mentioned earlier not even really needing to lunge or anything, just being able to take him straight in. And
yeah, he's actually the best behaved of the lot, honestly. He doesn't require any prep, any lunging. You just kind of wander him down to the ring and in he goes. So it's quite nice to have one that easy.
Beautiful dapples too. So who do we have next coming down the line?
Next we have Henry. He is owned by the Superman Syndicate. Named because he jumps a bit like Superman's. He is a 15-3 Dutch horse by Mr. Blue, I believe. He's jumped up through 130. He'll be coming 9 this year. He just came out this week and jumped some 120s just to get warmed up. Was second yesterday out of quite a big class. So I'm pleased with that. And then he'll jump the $5,000 meter 25 prix tomorrow to finish up the week.
Wow, very nice. And next?
Next, we have Monkey. Yeah, aptly named. He is a monkey, as you can see. He's 15, 1.5, coming 10-year-old this year. He jumped a couple of his first Grand Prix last year. And he jumped a meter 30 and the Welcome this week, both of which he jumped super well. So he'll probably do the same next week. And then he'll aim to move up to some Grand Prix again later in the season, I would think. But he's a cool horse. He's very little, but he has a ton of personality, and he's very cocky.
And a beautiful face, absolutely gorgeous, and obviously loves people visiting with you here, just trying to nibble on you and get your attention.
Yeah, he loves people, but he loves food more.
Sounds like me.
I was going to say, he's kind of like Chris, actually. Like, no,
Chris, comment.
It's probably true, but he's probably a lot cuter than I am. For sure, no, for sure.
Not arguing that one. So then we go down to Everse, who actually I'm quite familiar with because Rowan, of course, was riding Everse. I don't know for how long, but I know for quite some time. Quite an incredible horse with a career, but exciting that you just got to ride him in first Grand Prix that you've ridden him in, right?
Yep, I am leasing him for the winter season. Rowan very kindly set that up with Everse's owners, so I can get some mileage in the Grand Prix. And I've had him a couple months now and just still kind of get him used to him. He's a very big, powerful, hot horse with the most scope I've ever sat on. So I've started out getting flung around like a ragdoll a bit. So I've had to figure out how to stick with him. But yeah, we jumped our first Grand Prix today, which is probably the biggest, most technical track I've ever done. But he knows his job. And we had a really super round. I had 3 down, which were my green mistakes. But he was great and rideable, and I stayed with him and didn't get flung around. And just really, really good mileage, and looking forward to the rest of the season with him.
Yeah, and that's it's a little bit of a change for him. Rowan's a big, huge guy and a big, tall guy anyway. And you're obviously a lot smaller person. He's been riding Everse, I know, for quite some time. Yeah, so I mean, there's some adjustments there, and only a couple of months in a Grand Prix, it's a big step. So you must have had a little bit of nerves. Was Rowan watching?
Rowan's actually in England right now. But yeah, I was a little nervous, but the horse really knows his job. So as long as I'm like somewhat right and could stay on, then I knew he would jump. So it's nice to kind of be sitting on something like that.
And you mentioned a technical course. Did you think it was tough? I mean, there were quite a few clear rounds. I think there were 10 or 11 clear rounds, and that's a pretty good percentage. But did you think it was a difficult course? I saw a lot of people having trouble with number 13. It seemed like they'd make it maybe all the way through or almost all the way through with maybe just one rail and then knock down 13. So do you think it was kind of tough, or what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was a really big technical track. You know, especially early on in the season. I mean, I'm still green in the Grand Prix, so quite honestly, they all look fairly big and technical anyway. But, you know, obviously 10 or so people jumped clear, and he got as many clear rounds as he needed, and it was an exciting class for people to watch. And, you know, I think everyone came out educated. You know, there was no carnage or anything, and I think most people and horses came out better than they went in. So I know I kind of came out confident and happy, and, you know, a good start to the season for us, really.
And for you, for a takeaway for Everse for your next Grand Prix, what would you say if there was anything that you kind of took away from that experience?
I think, you know, just figuring out, just letting him kind of do his job a little bit more, and just trying to get my adjustments done a little earlier. Just as he's strong, I don't always get the reaction straight away. And just kind of understanding his stride length and power. But, you know, you can only learn that with miles.
That's right, all in experience, and he is a big, strong lad. So, but congratulations and well done, because that was a job well done, a nice ride, and certainly a great experience for both of you. We're going to have more with Chris and Justine. We're going to learn a little bit more about signature jumps and some of the things that are on their bucket list. Just happy to be here, delighted and honoured to be here in their barn, Notting Hill Stables at the Florida Horse Park Air Show Jumping. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show.